Hey guys, welcome back to the Bulwark. I'm Sam Stein, managing editor here at the site. I'm with Tim Miller. We've got some breaking news. We don't normally do this, but police have apparently apprehended someone in the slaying of the UnitedHealthcare executive, Brian Thompson. This comes a couple days after Brian Thompson, the chief executive officer at UnitedHealthcare, was gunned down at a Midtown Manhattan hotel. The person that they've discovered is a man named Luigi. I think it's Mangione. Is that, we assume that's the pronunciation here?
You're
Luigi?
Italian more than mine. You're an East Coast man. You know about
Luigi
Italian culture.
Mangione. That's Luigi. And he's 26. He's from Maryland, caught in Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania, in a humiliating development. He was caught at a McDonald's. There's a lot going on here.
With the murder weapon, I believe?
He did have a gun. I have some thoughts on this, and we can get to it. But the background basically is this guy is 26. He's from Maryland. He was valedictorian of his high school, according to the internet. Again, these are all suspected. He hasn't been accused of anything. He studied at the University of Pennsylvania, appears to be studying computers. Prolific poster on Goodreads. We'll get into his literature of choice in a little bit. I don't mean to laugh because it's actually a tragedy that this man was shot down in broad daylight, or in the morning, I should say. But this suspected killer, there's a lot to unpack here. Tim, what are your first impressions?
There's a lot to unpack here, including his six-pack would be among the things you need to unpack.
He did post yes. Yeah.
This is a very attractive man, and there are a lot of texts about that. So I have a few more things to say about that at the very end, but I knew that that's probably what people are coming here to hear my thoughts on. So you got to wait till the end to hear my additional thoughts on
Good that you did not bury the lead here. It's blowing up on the gay group chats.
The gay group chats are on fire right now. The other thing that I will say is in any of these cases now, this is how broken our society is, that anytime there's a gunman, people immediately are looking for evidence, right, that they are part of the other tribe. That they are part, that's see, the other tribe is bad, the shooter's from them. Yeah. So you already see this right now happening in real time, where the police have leaked this. Apparently, he has some sort of manifesto. We'll see. They leaked this to the New York Post that included some anti-capitalist views, anti-healthcare executive views. And so you see people on the right immediately being like, see, this is just a privileged woke leftist from the Ivy League, and they're all killers. But his Twitter feed is much more kind of centrist bro tech guy. He's really into AI. He's reading people who I like Jonathan Haidt. He follows the person I'm going to have on tomorrow's podcast, actually, Scott Galloway. A good person. Don't want to blame Scott about this.
Are you suggesting that the Bulwark is responsible for this?
I'm not. I'm just saying that no, it's less the Bulwark. It's kind of more the free press flair of centrism. Yeah. We have a different kind of spin on. Yeah. So anyway, we're slicing this stuff pretty thin at this point. But so you see some leftists going after that. So I think that in any of these situations, he also read some Ted Kaczynski. So in any of these situations, somebody that is psychotic enough to actually do an execution like this is going to, I think, have a diverse strain of psychotic views, right, and of contrarian views, and I don't think that we can try to paint a ideological picture of this person based on what we have, and I will have to wait and see on the when it comes to the
let's just stipulate I don't like the idea that everyone decamps to be this person's part of that tribe.
Me neither.
Sure, different tribes produce different types of people, but not everyone produces, and nor should everyone say that if you commit a bold act of murder, it's necessarily because you're edgy. Sometimes it is, but not always. In this case, I will say
just one more thing on this is well, for starters, he seems to be also very interested in Shintoism, the Japanese faith. So we might have a radical Shintoist. You never know.
You never know.
But I would say this: the political angle for me that's actually more important. I talked about Bill with this a little bit on the pod today. Is there is in left leftist circles, there's been a strain of people, very online people, that are like cheering this person on,
Right.
and that we're at least saying that like we should we should hamper the cops' ability to try to catch him, things of this nature. I find that. I think you're going down a very nasty road if you're going down the vigilante murder road. But I think that is also one of the reasons why this gets politicized so quickly. Part of it is because our culture is broken, but another part of it is because there was a specific ideological strain of people. I mean, it's a small group, but it's a vocal one online that were basically calling this person a hero. So again, we saw the same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, right, on the other side.
Right. I will say you can hold two ideas in your head. One is that private health insurers are, it's a miserable business. They deprive people of coverage. They profit off of people suffering. That's fine. You can believe that. Doesn't mean you should rationalize the murder in cold blood of someone. That's crazy. But I've seen a lot of that commentary, and I find it depressing, to be honest with you. This 26-year-old Luigi guy. As you mentioned, his politics appear sort of, chaotic, unconventional, whatever you want to call it, kind of in that shoehorn territory. He reviewed a bunch of different books, including Steve-O's Jackass fame, gave it middling reviews, didn't seem to draw much from it. Reviewed more positively Ted Kaczynski's book, The Unabomber. Seemed really enthralled by that. I will say,
he also reviewed J.D. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, 3 out of 5 stars.
What did he give it? 3 out of 5?
3 out of 5. Not that strong of a review. Not that strong of a review for Hillbilly Elegy.
Did he review the Netflix movie version of it or not?
I don't know what I've seen.
I will say the thing that struck me is that this guy, apparently very smart because he was a valedictorian in his class, went to UPenn. Pretty dumb way to leave the murder scene. He went on a bike. He kept his gun with him. He decided to walk around with a manifesto. If you're gonna get caught, they're going to know it's you. You're basically what are you doing, man? And also, why are you kind of hanging out at a McDonald's if you're the health nut, apparently? What? I'm a little bit confused by all this.
Dumb criminal. I don't know. Aku, you haven't watched a lot of criminal shows. Criminals are usually pretty dumb.
I feel like I could have, not I'm saying I'm a murderer, but I feel like I would have taken different steps here.
You think you could have hid from the cops? You could have lasted longer than Luigi did on the lam?
I wouldn't have carried my gun with me, and I wouldn't have carried the manifesto. And
I'm scared of guns. So I don't carry any guns, so this is kind of a hard counterfactual for me. But I guess I would say I have no faith in my ability to hide from the police for any period of time. I feel very unsuited to that in my personal skill set.
The quote from the police department's detective was really just – the quote is literally this. They found him at McDonald's. He goes, quote, he was sitting there eating. He's just sitting do something else. Don't go to McDonald's or do the drive-through.
Do the drive-through. Yeah. Bring it on the road with you. Where do you think he was headed?
I don't know. I think there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, to get away. I will say, I don't know how dumb the cops were, but he did get away. He took a city bike and then he got on a bus. He was doing he wasn't exactly that elusive, but he did make it to Altoona, which is not that close to the city. So, yeah. Anyways, any other closing thoughts on this?
Because we got to go back to his looks.
Go back.
I've received several texts from people trying to get me to admit that I am attracted to the shooter, and I do. And I have to just say, not exactly my type. I mean, objectively handsome.
I think once you kill someone,
not exactly my type. Yeah. I in that category. Kind of the Boston Marathon bomber was kind of a little bit more in my wheelhouse.
Do you remember the Rolling Stone cover of that guy?
Do I? Do I remember that cover?
Not an appropriate cover.
Some people were very upset about the cover, not me.
They made him look like a young Bob Dylan. It was nuts.
Much handsomer than a young Bob Dylan. So anyway, he's still in jail as he should be. But not exactly my type. But other people disagree, and I have some pretty disgusting things in my inbox, is I guess all I'm going to say. I don't think we need to share it with the whole audience, but some of the thoughts that people have suggested to me privately are not appropriate.
Why are people drawn to these types of vigilante murderer types? I don't really get it.
I think in this case, it's just because he's a 10 out of 10. I don't know. I'm not sure that there's anything much more to it than that.
I do think he's gonna get exalted by a swath of society who sees him as like.
I mean, you've already seen some of that.
Great slayer of corporate healthcare insurers.
Yeah, and it will depend on how much he leans into this. I just look. I just encourage everybody just to like this impulse to resist it. The idea that this is a place that people want to go. I think we live in a society. This is a very dangerous path to go down. And this is a man that had family.
You can't have vigilante murder. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, people should just chill out. Even if you truly abhor private healthcare, like, just chill out. You don't need to applaud murder.
Yeah, and also this whole notion that there has been one other political thing. I guess I have one other final thought about the politics of this. There's like, because there have been vocal TikTok and Twitter personalities, including up to, we're over on YouTube right now, and YouTube personalities over like Hassan, who's very popular on the far left as a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber. Like, people up to including him have been expressing like sympathy towards the shooter, or at least understanding in some cases, rationalization, and I think that has led then the discourse in politics to be like, you can see how upset people are, that like they're even defending this murder, and that means that people are really demanding like political change on healthcare. Hey, I'm all for political change on healthcare reform. The current healthcare system I have no interest in maintaining. But we just finished a campaign where the winning candidate ran on, I have concepts of a plan for fixing healthcare. So like the idea, and I think that it is a fishbowl view of society. If you're just watching leftist YouTube or just watching MAGA YouTube, and you think that there's some like outpouring of support for this kind of thing, I think that is very, very, very wrong. And
so this is one of those cases. This is one of those cases where like being super online is, gives you a distorted sense of what's going on. Like, yes, people get attention online for like applauding the murder of Mr. Thompson, or for saying like this is some symbolic act that we should be, we should strive for us to, think differently about healthcare. I think most normal people would be like, it's fucked up to kill someone, period. And stuff with kids, and you could detest the industry he's in, but like you just don't do that. Just a quick factual correction: he apparently graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2020 with degrees in engineering, according to a school commencement program. He's from the Baltimore area, went to private high school, traveled a lot with friends and family. Like to post shirtless pics of himself. Decent abs. I don't get it. He ate McDonald's, still had good abs. Good for him.
God, genes, man. God blesses some of us. I think maybe he blessed this guy a little too much in the abs and not as much in the brain, not as much on the discernment side of things. Yeah.
Anyways, Tim, thanks for joining. A really illuminating conversation. It's hopefully the first and last of our post vigilante murder discussions, but
you never know.
We'll see. You never know. And thanks for tuning in. I should have mentioned, please subscribe to YouTube. I don't know if you're going to want to subscribe after this one, but if you do, click the button. It's great. Yeah, we give you the type of
content. This is what we're giving you. Authentic observations on the news.
There it is.
We'll see you soon.
Take care, guys.